Warzone is a very hard game. The average player wins 1 out of 150 games played, which is less than 1% of the time. This is why in today's video, I'm gonna give you my best 5 tips so you can have better odds and win more. One of the best tips I can give you is time management. You have limited time in each match. Rebirth Island is 15 to 20 minutes each match. In that time, you have a lot to do. You need to have the right priorities in place for where you spend your time. Time management's gonna be key, but you have a lot going on, like I said. So the first one we're gonna talk about in time management is cash is king. You're going to want to get as much cash as possible. You're going to want to understand the loot zones. So like this is an example. I'm on big map right now, but I know this building back here in Shanade Manor is very rich with loot. We got bags here. We got boxes here. And the thing is, you want to understand these loot zones, because if you understand the loot zones, you will be able to form a pattern of, okay, if I land here, I'm able to get a good amount of loot. I'm able to get my loadout faster. I'm gonna have my money back faster, so I can buy my teammates back faster. Because you got to think about it, 3,000 to buy somebody back. It's going to be 15,000 in quads for your loadout. Then it's going to be 12,000 in trios, 10,000 in duos, 7,500 in solos. So you're going to need money, and you got to plan that out. You got to understand, where are the loot zones? Where are the buy stations in the loot zones? So if I'm on big map, that is there. But if I'm on Rebirth Island, I'm going to land at Stronghold, or I'm going to land at Factory. Like, those are going to be the spots with the most loot and that you can recover the fastest. And it's important because you want to make sure that you plan for the future. You probably have a spot where you normally land every single time, but ask yourself, why do we land here? Do we land here just because it's fun? What's the point? What's the strategic value of landing there? Because that's the whole point, right? You want to make sure you have the strategic value to get the most out of it. And you see how many boxes are here? Like, I mean, there is a ton. I've probably opened at least 8 and found multiple source streets, multiple cash boxes. I have a buy here. There's a lot to this where you can do different points of entry. And we look at the buy here, we can get our loadouts quicker. We got our gear that we could get. We can go get different weapons if we wanted to. It's just different ways of thinking, okay, I need to make sure that I'm getting my loadout faster, and then understanding when fire sales are, because the fire sale is going to be in the third circle at 1 minute and 6 seconds. So do you have enough economy to get stuff at the fire sale? Because you can get half off your loadout, half off UAVs. A UAV goes from 6,000 to 3,000. Buying a loadout and throwing it into a different zone instead of waiting for the fist zone loadout is a huge deal. So you want to make sure you're just planning ahead. Also, you want to make sure you're doing the correct contracts. I did a video on this already, but I timed out each contract. Now, I know it's great. You do the scav, or you do the king contract, you do an intel, and that's wonderful. But the spy drone contract is actually the fastest contract. You can get it done in 15 seconds. I'll have Micah, my editor, show you right here. Get it taken care of in 15 seconds. It drops a UAV, it drops a zipline, it drops a bunch of plates, and it gives your entire team money. So it's like, that's part of that time management piece, is like, cash is king, economy is important, but are you doing the right behaviors to get the right result of winning, especially in this game when you have a limited time and you have to think fast and strategic. So landing in hot zones, getting enough loot to get your loadout, getting enough loot and consistency to buy people back at the end game when you can't resurge anymore if you're on resurgence, and doing the right contracts with spy drone contracts that are very quick to do. Also knowing when the fire sales are going to happen, so you don't waste money in the beginning of the game. You save money for the outer part. So at that third circle at 1 minute and 6, you have all the money ready to go. Hey guys, it's come to my attention that some of you have not hit that subscribe button yet or turned notifications on. So go ahead, hit subscribe, turn noties on. I got 3 videos a week coming out for you. Plus, our Discord is now live. You can join the community and hang out with me and all the rest of the birds. I will go ahead and put the Discord link in the description. All right, guys, let's get to tip number 2. An even better Warzone tip, and second on the list, is understanding the map. So let me show you what I mean by that, okay? So we are on this building over here. We are in the manor, right? So there is so many jump points and different hideaways that you might not know. like this zip line, right? So I can take this zip and I can come all the way over to this building, and it's faster than running, but there's a risk of getting shot, right? So there is that zip, which you got to listen for the cues on and make sure you understand where that is going. But you can also take it to here and come back, and that's going to give you roof access. But think about it. Do you know this building well enough, especially on big map right now, where all the jump points are and the choke points are? Verdansk is coming back here in less than a month, but it's also good to know, right? So I know this staircase comes up on this side. So if I go up that side, I have that. If I go over to here, I know I have my balcony. I can go down here and do all this other side to this door. Now, understanding where these choke points are very important. Pro players do this all the time. They play the game to understand the map. They land here numerous times, not to win the game, but to understand the building. So if they're coming in straight to the building, they know, okay, 2 staircases. If I go left, what's over here? You know, oh, I have a whole thing down here. Did you know you could go down to the basement? And there's a whole nother sub-level down here. I bet a lot of us didn't know that. And then you come up here and you study all of this loot, all of this sub-basement. You understand, where does it taking me? Oh, I'm coming out in the garage on this side. Perfect. Especially if you're getting stuck in zone. Then you're gonna know where to go, right? You can go underneath and then surprise the enemy coming up on this side. You can come back over and take the zip back up and go right back where you are. It's understanding each building and playing the game a little differently. I know we want to play, get in, and get kills, but we also want to play the game and understand the map, because the more you understand the map, the more wins you're going to get and the more you're going to outplay your opponent. But understanding where you're going and where things are is huge, because the thing is, where do these doors lead? You know what I mean? Because now I have the outside here, which is a stair, and then I can't go in that window, but I can come in this door. There's just so many entry points to understand where you need to be and where is the best way to loot and which is the best way to outplay everybody. You know, I'm getting bunker busted because I killed that guy. He's not very happy about it. But I also know I can come over here and look, I can go that way. This door is open. Somebody here. He's right there. Slide out. Here, crossover. And I knew where he was going because I knew the map. So I can go ahead and take out the clown with my turtle and have a good day. Because I knew where to go and where the map was and how to rotate down like that. And then I know the staircase is on this side, so I can come up here and get to the second level if I wanted to shoot down at him. And make that a little bit easier, right? If I wanted to shoot down here, I know the balcony is right here. So just need to understand each one. So you're landing in zone. It's a different game. You want to land in this building, and this building, and then talk about zip placement, right? So your zip placement, it does move sometimes, but 90% of the time, it's always in the same spot. So you know that zip's going to be over here. You know that zip's going to be over there. So you can zip out of zone. Also being aware of where ladders are. So if I'm on the roof, and I know there's going to be where, like, I'm trying to figure out where the ladders are, right? So I have a zip here. I know people can come up here. I know I can shoot down into here. But where is the ladder to the roof? Where can people jump up? So you study that kind of positioning of where are the jump up points up here. Maybe it's just that zip, right? I don't know. I haven't looked up here. So we're going to study it together, right? Oh, there's a guy over here. Let's just say hi to him. Right, so I have height. I can shoot down on that guy. But let's take a look. I don't see any other ladders up here. So it looks like we're pretty good, right? So now I know it's got to come up through a door, which is right there.
Marking target location.
Another door here, and the zip here. Those are the entry points. Now, I know it's not going to be easy to remember every single one, but you do it enough and you study the game enough that it will become second nature to you, and it will make it a little bit easier. So I would say the challenge here is go ahead and land into the game. As I was saying, I would say just play the game differently. Land in and just say, hey, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to learn the building. And if you die, who cares? Just land back in, because you know that you're just trying to learn the map and learn the building. I guarantee the more map and the more building you learn, then the more wins you will get inside of Warzone. Equally as important as map knowledge is my third tip, which you have to be a gun expert. So how do you know the meta? Check out what JGod says here.
Until we find out what the meta is, we won't know. Use a gun. If you get shit on with that gun, then that is likely not the meta. Look at the gun that the guy shit on you with. That might be the meta. Use that gun. If it happens again, look at what the guy is using. Same thing. Repeat. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And that's how you'll find the meta.
I think JGod explains it best. That is naturally how you figure out the meta. But becoming a gun expert, there are a few things you want to do inside the firing range that I bet you're not doing today. So let's go through them first and we'll show you how to be a gun expert. First off, we need to build a loadout. And I'm not saying go find something online. What I'm saying is let's start from scratch. So let's do this. Let's build, what's meta right now? I think it's the Cypher 91, right? So let's build that. I'm gonna take off. First, what I do when I build a loadout is you're gonna wanna just take every attachment off because you wanna know how that gun operates without attachments, right? So we have no attachments on the gun. Then we're gonna go into the firing range. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the wood here for the recoil plot. You just push down on your D-pad. Let's see what the recoil pattern is without adjusting anything. Just fire it, we keep firing it the whole clip. So that is the recoil pattern for this gun with 0 attachment. So now what I do is I go, if I like that gun, I'm gonna go into the weapons gunsmith here. I'm gonna go back and then we're gonna go change, we're gonna start adding stuff on. So we know from a muzzle standpoint, we have the suppressor, which does nothing for recoil. It only addresses the suppressor on the mini-map, which let me tell you right now, a lot of players who are playing aren't looking at dots showing if they're going to be somebody close firing an unsuppressed weapon. If you're a casual player, you're not looking. Compensator, that really helps the vertical recoil control. The muzzle brake is first shot recoil control and the kick reset speed. And then the ported compensator is first shot recoil control and vertical recoil control. So here we're looking at compensator or ported. Now, what I do is I try it with the compensator on inside the firing range. So we're gonna go, this is the only attachment on. We're gonna step up, we're gonna bring it in, and we're gonna go ahead and I'll have Micah show you the recoil control without on the left side and me on the right side with it. Let's do it. And I'm not holding down anything at all. This is just compensator. That is the recoil control pattern, as you can see, very different on the right side versus the left side, and all we added was the compensator. Now, if you want to get a little bit more in depth, what you can do is go back to the gun and you can change the compensator back to the ported compensator, and now we'll take a look at it with the ported compensator. So you're going to get 3 from me. On the left side, you're going to have no attachment recoil control. In the middle, we're going to have the compensator, and then on the right, we're going to have the ported compensator. So let's take a look. So we have 3 different recoil patterns. I actually like the ported compensator. It looks pretty good. A little bit easier to maintain going straight up and down, and then you have that kick to the left. So I think we're gonna leave that on. Then we're gonna go look at what is the next attachment. Now we're gonna go into barrel, and there's a lot of different things on barrel. Let me explain this for you so it's a little bit easier to understand. Gain twist barrel is great. It adds a ton of bullet velocity, which is good. You want bullet velocity on your gun, but just know what map you're playing. You should have a loadout for Resurgence. You should have a loadout for big map. A gain twist barrel is great. As you shoot the bullets, they hit the operator better because it's a bullet velocity. But when you're on a shorter map, you don't need that. You need a reinforced barrel based upon damage range. It extends the range out and then adds that. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on there. That helps with that. Then we're gonna go down and look at the underbarrel, right? And 90% of the time on your loadout, you're gonna want the vertical foregrip. Now you could get, if you have aiming idle sway, that's a problem, but it's not really a problem on AR, so you don't need it. That would be if you're gonna do it on a sniper rifle, because they have that sway to them. You don't need them on an AR. So vertical foregrip. Now we're gonna go back to the firing range. Keep in mind, we have the ported compensator with the vertical foregrip, which is a recoil control. Drop it down. And then we're gonna put up on the left side, ported compensator, because that's the one we chose before. And now we're gonna add in the horizontal one. And I'm not correcting it, I'm just firing, and you can see the difference. Look at that change. That is a huge recoil change, right? So this is you becoming a gun expert. You see the right and to the left. Now we're going to keep that vertical foregrip on because that recoil pattern is easy for us to control. Now we're going to go back in and build our gun, right? We don't have 5 attachments yet. So then we're going to look at the magazine because 30 mag is not going to work. You can have the extended one at 45 or the 60. Now, again, think. Resurgence or big map. Big map is always going to be 60. Mag 1 extended is 45. You can get away with 45 on Resurgence. I wouldn't do it on big map. Think about the playlist you're playing. If it's solos or duos, 45 is great. Even trios is great. You could run 60 on quads in small map, but I would always stick with the extended mag 1. That's fine. 45 there. Then we're going to look at a couple different things. We can look at the rear grip, which gives you quicker, fast ADS, but it's an AR. Do you really care about aiming down faster? We could look at the stock, which is going to give us different things we could do there. Aim, walking speed, flinch, but think about what you're building it for. None of these help you on an AR. And then you have your fire mod, right? So you could go a couple different ways here. You could go more bullet velocity, or you can go recoil control. So let's do this. Let's do the recoil springs. Let's go back into the fire range and see what that actually does to the gun. And this is what you're doing, guys. You're testing everything. So now you're going to see ported compensator on your left. You're going to see in the middle, you're going to have ported compensator with the horizontal from the vertical foregrip. And now you're going to see it all three put together. And let's see what it does without even holding it. Keeps it pretty straight. You don't get the bounce from side to side. You're getting a reduction and everything there. This is where you make the decision. So for me, I wouldn't run the recoil springs on this gun just because it's an easy gun to control and you want bullet velocity, right? So I would go back in, I would go to loadout, I would do right into the gun, and I would switch this from fire mod to overpressure rounds to get the extra bullet velocity. So, and then you're dialed in. Now, you don't have to do that because guess what? We don't have an optic, and we would like an optic. So we're gonna go in and pick an optic. If you don't like iron sights and you're more of an optic person, I totally get it. Here's the secret with optics. The reflex sight here shows very to little recoil bounce. So like, let's see, I'll show you what I mean. So let's go in, we're gonna do the same idea. Actually, we'll shoot it here, right? Look at that. It doesn't show any recoil. It's designed that way. It's easier for you to see. Look at that. Like, it just doesn't. No shake, no bounce. Now, let me show you another one. Let's go down and pick, there's a new one out that I would like to do is the R&K multi-zoom. So let me show you what this looks like. And I want to illustrate it great. So we're zooming in here, right? So let's fire there. Still kind of good like the reflex, right? Here's the thing. If you push in on this, it zooms in. Now watch the bounce. See that? Kind of crazy to the eye. Look at all that bounce. And I'm holding it. Because you're zoomed in. Once you zoom out, watch. It doesn't bounce as much. So you got to just look at the optic and which one is going to be bouncier, which one is easier to see. In this case, I would be running the reflex. A little bit easier to see. You could also do the Jason Armory 2X. It doesn't have a lot of bounce to it, but I'm going to be running reflex on Rebirth Island or Area 99. I will be running probably the Jason Armory 2X or the Willis 3X when I am on big map. You just got to think, which map are you making that loadout for? Now, maybe you're a sniper guy. You need to understand snipers too. You can't just be a gun expert in SMG and AR and leave snipers out, because if you're a sniper guy, you need to understand a few things. So one of the biggest things you need to understand is sniping is the range of one-shot headshot. Unfortunately, in this game, they do not let you have infinite one-shot headshot on every sniper. The Cat AMR and the Moors, you can do that infinite range. You just have to learn how to use them. So you got to understand one-shot headshot range. Car 98, 10 meters, one-shot headshot. Car 98, 25 meters, one-shot headshot. Car 98, 50 meters, one-shot headshot. Car 98, 100 meters. It's not a one-shot headshot, it's a two-shot. You have to hit it twice. So just understanding the limitations, because you can get frustrated if you're shooting and you're like, I thought I got that guy headshot. When maybe you did, but it's past the 73 meters or the 70 meters that the Car 98 is. So when you're building that kind of gun, it's the same idea. You want to go in, you want to understand the ranges, and you can see here at the bottom, damage effective range 67.1, damage beyond 123. You want to understand where those ranges are and what attachments add to those and hurt those. Where like the long barrel obviously adds, the sprint fire suppressor L adds, the high green rounds add. A lot of that stuff adds on. You just got to understand where you are with being a gun expert. There's a lot that goes into being a gun expert. So snipers are one of them, AR is one of them, and SMG. The biggest thing on SMG that people make mistakes on is this little thing in the corner, and I will have my editor go down here and show you, but the aim down sight speed and the sprint to fire speed are the most important things. So here's what you want to do. The two things here you want to try to aim for. Anything under aim down sight speed under 200 milliseconds is great, and anything under 150 or less on sprint to fire. So aim down sight is aiming down sight. That's how fast that is. And sprint to fire is running and then pulling your gun up to shoot. So a lot of these guns, this is the compact, but if you look at like the KSV, let's take a look at that one. That one is at 190 and 120. So it's going to aim down sight faster than the compact 92. And it's also going to be sprint to fire faster than the compact 92. The PPSH, let's look at that gun. 165 millisecond and 145 milliseconds. So let me show you in action what I'm talking about. It's not super egregious, but it's definitely there. So let me show you the aim down sight of the compact 92. Keep in mind, this is 220 aim down sight. So let's show you, watch. So it looks pretty normal, right? That seems pretty quick. That's 220, like you're in the game, that's not bad. Now let me show you what the PPSH does at 165, and we'll do a side-by-side comparison to show you what it looks like. Okay, watch. See how fast that is? It's a lot faster, and those milliseconds matter. I'm gonna have my gun up faster than the other gun. So when I'm going against an enemy and we come up, and I can aim that quick, I'm gonna want the faster gun. Also, the sprint to fire is running and then being able to fire. Pull that quick trigger right there. So when you're SMGs, that is the biggest thing you want to look for, are those two stats, because you want to understand aim down sight, sprint to fire are going to be very vital when you're in a close range gunfight. One of the biggest things of being a gun expert is understanding how to aim. So you're going to want to make sure you're activating rotational aim assist. There's regular aim assist, and then there's rotational aim assist. Regular aim assist is just normal. You're standing there, you're firing. It's usually with an AR. You're just standing long distance. It still activates a little bit, but it doesn't really activate that much. Rotational aim assist is being able to make slight movements with your thumb on your left stick. Tiny micro moves is to activate the aim assist. It activates a lot when you're running around and you're sliding and killing people that way, because it automatically pulls your gun over. That's what you see a lot of people accuse people of cheating, is because when they see the kill cam, it's snapped onto them. Now, it's not egregious like the hacker video I did, but it's a rotational aim assist does pull it. It pulls it pretty quick. So that's what happens when you're sliding around and running. Now, when you're standing still or you're hiding behind a cover, you want to make slight micro adjustments to activate rotational aim assist. That is all part of being a gun expert. Just as important as being a gun expert is my fourth tip, which is how to win gunfights. So now we need to talk about most likely scenarios, okay? So we're in this building, and we need to think, where would people hide, okay? Most people, when you're playing the game, you're like looting, like you're coming over here for this bag, and then you're not thinking of like, oh, is there somebody in this hallway? You know, where did this door go? That kind of thing. So what I need you to do is anticipate and think about, where would you hide in this building? Would you hide here? Would you hide here? Would you be looking out this window here? Think about it. Like if I'm coming down this hallway, I open this door, there could be somebody out here. Easily, right? But you're just looting, you're not thinking that, so it gets caught off guard. Then you can even think, okay, if I have this door, is somebody hiding here? You got to think and anticipate, right? And always be coming around corners like this. I know it seems tedious, but if somebody's in your building, you need to be anticipating and ready to end your gun up as fast as possible. If you don't, you're going to lose gunfights. It's not going to be easy for you. So what I do is I think about, okay, if I was in this building, I'm going to pre-aim corners, right? Because I don't know where people are hiding. I want to make sure I understand that. If I go up top, I want to make sure I understand where they're hiding up here. It could be behind here, right? So when I come up this stairwell, I'm going to pre-aim right there, because most people are going to hide right there. You just got to think about where would you hide? Where, you know, obviously we don't condone camping, but where would you hide? Like if I'm going in here, where would I be in here? You know what I mean? Like when I'm coming up through, maybe I'm in here and I'm coming up this stair. Let me show you what I'm talking about right now. So if I'm coming up here and I know somebody's up here, I'm thinking they could be on left or it can be right. So if I come out here, I need to understand. I need to look up there because honestly, they could be easily hiding up here and it would be very simple to kill you because they're above you. So I always check above when I'm coming out like that. You want to slide through and look above. Anticipate where somebody is going to be. The pros at this game do that constantly. They're constantly anticipating because they've put in hours. I've put in hours. I've played over 10,000 games. So I understand where people are going to be and where to pre-aim at, right? So it's like understanding, okay, I come to this window. Oh, I'm gonna look that way. That's probably not the best way, right? So if I come in here, I look this way because they're either gonna be in this corner or this corner. People love to be in corners. They kind of like right there would be a good spot. And then right there would be a good spot. So you just kind of pre-aim and pre-fire. You can go up. If I'm coming up here, same idea. Because if you can anticipate that and get first shots, then you'll know, hey, that the more time you can get the first shots, the better you are at winning the gunfight, right? It's understanding the psychology of where would you hide. That means other people would hide there too. Another concept that goes with winning more gunfights is understanding how to bait people into a gunfight. If I'm in this building and I hear somebody above me, I'm going to start shooting right here for no reason. Because what that'll do is they're thinking I'm in a gunfight. And what does that think? People in a gunfight, they want a third party. How many times have you gotten third partied in this game by people? It drives you up a wall, right? Yeah, that's what you can bait people into that. The more you shoot, they're going to push you. Look at this guy right here. He's flying in right now. He heard the gunfight. Gonna go over there. I'm gonna third party him. Right, just like that, and then I'll finish it with this, you know, and we got him, right? Like, it's just they hear gunfire, they come out and they think they're gonna do something, and you know, great game here. We didn't get him, but at the end of the day, we did down him. But he flew in and went over there because he heard gunfire and he thought he could third party. He went to the wrong spot to third party. He third partied that guy over there, not thinking I was over here. So when you have that, that's what you do. You can bait them. Also understanding when to reload and when to replate. You know, so this guy's flying. Reload right away. Don't chase the down. Poor Chicken Joe got killed by me. This guy's gonna know what to do. So I downed him. I'm not going to chase the down. I'm looking, I need to reload, right? This guy's coming over here. You want to reload, replate before you advance, right? So this guy's over here. He landed below me. I heard him. I knew where he was. I'm going to reload. I'm going to replate as fast as possible before I go and engage it anymore. Because if you're in, like, there's another one here. See, I'm already protected. I have my, I'm reloaded. Remember, checking every corner. I want to make sure that he's not hiding around a corner. And then we take the back stairs. But you want to make sure you're checking all of this. Like your stairs, you want to make sure you go slower. You're going to come up like here. And also, winning more gunfights, if you're not aware, if I'm climbing stairs and I'm aiming, you can't hear my footsteps. But when I run, you can hear my footsteps. But if I'm aiming, quiet, you can't hear my footsteps. So it's just little things like that. Anticipating movement, anticipating where people are, and when to reload and replate. You want to make sure you take care of you first, get the down, reload, replate, and then finish the down. Don't chase the down. You will die less and win more if you don't chase the down. Now it's kind of a gray area because you're gonna have to. There's some instances where you have to do it quickly, especially in resurgence. But you just kind of gauge the situation. It's a good rule of thumb to not chase the down. Now, from a final and most important tip of the video, you want to get in as many gunfights as possible. I heard Z-Laner talk about this a few years ago and it just stuck with me and it works great. So watch this clip.
What's your best advice for getting better at the game? Land hot. Go for high kill games. Don't play for the win. Play for high kill games. Die over and over and over and over again, dropping hot over and over again, because you're going to get better, because you're going to get in more gunfights, and that's in turn going to make you better at winning more gunfights, which in turn is going to make you better at winning the game. Because how do you win the game? By winning a gunfight. By winning multiple gunfights most of the time, but obviously only one gunfight matters between you and the last person. But Obviously, that's just never the case. You're obviously going to fight other people throughout the game. You're just going to have people run into you. Even if you're good at hiding the whole time, you still have to be good at being able to fight that last player. So land hot, try to get as many kills as you can, play for high kill games, don't play for wins. And then once you're ready to play for wins and you want to like grind out a bunch of wins, you'll be ready because you played a lot of sweaty high kill games where you got better at fighting people, and now you're probably going to be able to win more consistently. That is how you get better at Warzone and just about any battle royale at all.
So what Z-Laner was saying here is you want to get in as many gunfights as possible. You want to land hot and just take as many gunfights as possible. Get out of the mentality that you're playing to win. The more gunfights you win, the more times you're going to win overall. So you have to get better at that. So when you're going into a match, think about it this way. There are times when you're playing for the win, but there are also times when you're just trying to get as many gunfights under your belt as possible. So you want to land in very hot locations with the mindset of like, I'm just trying to take as many gunfights as possible. If I lose, I'll just restart or I'll come back. Resurgence is the best spot for that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You know the hot zones in Control. Like, we all know the hot zones in Rebirth Island. We have living quarters, we have Control, we have Stronghold. You want to land on these spots. Like, I'm going to land Control. I understand I'm probably going to die, but I'm going to try my best to learn gunfights, right? So there's always going to be a lot of people here. You're going to get into a gunfight. You might lose. You might not. But I won the first one. I lost the second one, but I'm not all like shook up in my mental about it, right? Because that was the goal. I want to practice gunfights, and I have to get into gunfights to practice gunfights. So I'm not going to land conservatively where there's nobody. I'm trying to land where there's a lot of people because I want to get a gun and I want to fight as fast as possible. I'm not trying to win the game in the first 30 seconds. I'm trying to get better at gunfights. My teammates landed over here, and now there's guns, right? So now there's people in the game that have guns, right? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to get a gun, and I'm going to try to get in as many gunfights as possible and not waste time. I'm going to push because I want to go ahead and fight as many people as I can. Gonna come through that door. Oh, there's two. So 2 camping there. What am I supposed to do? But I came out good. I got a nice little slide. I got a crack, but there's 2 hiding there. What can you do? This is the whole point, right? You just want to get as many gunfights under your belt, learn from it. They're going to camp there. They're going to do their thing, but you're just going to keep pushing the envelope. You're not trying to win. The repetition is key because the more gunfights you get in, like I said, the more you're going to win the game. But it's just repetition and landing in these hot spots, right? Landing in a Control, landing in a Stronghold, landing in a headquarters and grandma's. Like, those are usually really hot areas. And just taking gunfights. Like, don't stress out about losing gunfights because you're just trying to get better at them. That wraps up all the tips to get more wins. And hey guys, if you like videos from me, click or touch the screen now and check out every Warzone class for every SMG that you might need. All right guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.